Hello and welcome to the first lesson of the first module of this PowerPoint Pro course. This is the third major version of this course. And in this introductory lesson, I'm going to go through some of the key topics here and walk you through some of the key setup steps that you'll need to use PowerPoint effectively. So the outline for this first lesson is as follows. We're going to start by going through what you'll learn in this course, why there are many issues with the Mac version of PowerPoint and some possible workarounds. We'll also cover the best way to complete the lessons, test yourself, and retain the information. Then, in the second part, we will go through some of the key points for the Windows or PC system setup for PowerPoint and also some program-specific settings for PowerPoint. There is a quick reference guide here that you can refer to, but I always like to provide this information in multiple formats. And then in the third section, we will go through something called the Quick Access Toolbar or QAT. This is all about how to set up custom keyboard shortcuts that will save you hours of time with about 5 minutes of work. Let's go to the first topic here first and talk a little bit about the PC versus Mac versions of Office and PowerPoint because I know this always comes up. This course is for the PC or Windows version of PowerPoint. The Mac version exists, but it has some serious shortcomings. The biggest problem is that it lacks the Alt key shortcuts of the Windows version. And in PowerPoint, shortcuts are about 90% of what you need to know. Now, Mac Excel also lacks many shortcuts, but there are usually decent alternatives, whereas there are not in PowerPoint. The Alt key and the Alt key shortcuts are less important in Excel. And also with Excel, there's a lot more to it than just the shortcuts. So even if you don't know the shortcuts that well, you could learn to use the formulas or the graphs or the data analysis features effectively. But in PowerPoint, you don't really have quite the same breadth of features that you're always going to be using. So as a compromise here, I will list the Mac shortcuts and the setup in the quick reference guides and will include a Mac quick access toolbar here. But really what I'd recommend is that if you're on the Mac, you should use the PC version of Office and a program like Parallels or Boot Camp that lets you use a Mac system, but then load Windows or PC programs on it or run a separate instance of Windows on your Mac. And that is going to make your life much, much easier. Mac PowerPoint is really not suited to investment banking and finance style presentations. Now, if you are on the PC or Windows version, this course works for desktop one-time purchase versions of PowerPoint. It also works for Office 365 and all the versions with that. And then if you are running the PC version of PowerPoint through Parallels on the Mac, it also works for that. In terms of versions, if you're using the desktop version of PowerPoint, I would say at least 2013 or higher is best. Office 365 is ideal, and all the videos in this course will use the 365 versions of Excel and PowerPoint. If you are on a much older version, like PowerPoint 2010 or 2007 or even 2003, you could still potentially use this course, but the interface looks quite a bit different and some features are missing. So I would strongly recommend against using a version this old. I would say 2013 is probably the minimum here. And ideally, as I said, you want to be using the 365 version so you match up with the interface and the commands shown here. After Excel, PowerPoint is probably the single most important program in most finance roles: investment banking, private equity, corporate finance, corporate development, investor relations. And in all these roles, you are going to be making presentations to clients or potential clients or the investment committee or to the general public. And so if you can't use PowerPoint efficiently, you're going to spend many long hours on silly formatting problems and logo issues and not being able to align text properly and other things like that. But if you know how to use it efficiently, you have a lower chance of pulling an all-nighter at the office and your life will be much easier in general. In these roles, you use PowerPoint to create